Okay, let's start. That is called as the red algae. So let's go for a brief discussion about the red algae. First, we'll discuss about its general character. So let's see. So this is the red algae. So general feature, that is it is the oldest algae after BGA. Means this is the first algae. Got it? So this is the first algae after BGA. And they are all marine. Mostly they are marine. And they are mostly found in warm seas and warm marine water. They are mostly found to be present in warm marine water. And the important point is that there is no motile stage in its life cycle. They don't have any motile stage, and they are multicellular in their habitat in the body forms. And only one exception, that is Porphyridium. Porphyridium is the one red algae which is unicellular. Got it? But whereas most of them are multicellular. And now let's move into its habitat. We find mostly they are marine in nature, but one red algae that is called as Batrachospermum. This Batrachospermum is a freshwater algae, whereas Porphyridium is the only red algae that is terrestrial in algae. And there are certain red algae present where we find calcium carbonate and limestones are deposited on its cell wall. So they are called as calcified algae. Calcified red algae forms. The best example is called as Corallina and Lithoamnion. One is called as Corallina, another one is called Lithoamnion. Clear? So here we find two different types of algae present. One is called as the Porphyra and another one is called as Polysiphonia. This is the Porphyra present, this is Porphyra, and this is Polysiphonia. These are two different types of red algae. One of the red algae is looking like a thallus-like structure, whereas the other one is the branching-like structure present. Now let's move into its body structure, a cell structure, thallus structure. Normally, the plant body is a multicellular, as we have discussed, and it is thallus. What is thallus? We have already discussed. Thallus means no differentiation, stem, leaf, and root. But the most important is that the cell wall is highly modified. What? Now, the cell wall contains cellulose, they contains pectin, they contains xylan mannan, they contains galactose, they contains polyuranic acids, they contains polysulfate esters. In addition to it, they also contains calcium carbonate. In addition to it, they also contains calcium carbonate. Got it? So this is about the basic chemical component deposited on its cell wall. In addition, we find that they have the adjacent cells have connections, and the two cells are connected by pit. So they have a pit connection between the adjacent cells. Now let's define its pigment. So the pigment is, as usual, chlorophyll A is the universal pigment. In addition to chlorophyll A, they contains chlorophyll D, because green algae contains chlorophyll B with A, and brown algae contains chlorophyll C with A, whereas red algae contains chlorophyll D with A. It also contains beta carotene. But for body coloration, the body coloration, it contains a special pigment that is called as phycobilins. Why it is called as bilins? Because the modified bile pigments. So these chemicals are the modified bile pigments. Phyco means algae, bilins means the bile pigments, modified bile pigments. So it is a two types of pigment. R red, phycoerythrin, that is red color, and R phycocyanin is the blue color. So one imparts red color, another one imparts blue color. So normally, according to Gaudikop's effect, it's very important. According to this scientist, Gaudikop, the color varies according to the depth of the ocean or depth of the water. If the algae are present on the surface, then the blue color is activated, that is R-phycocyanin is activated. If the algae are found deep below the water, then we find the erythrin is activated, that is red color. So deep water algae are red in nature, whereas the surface color red algae are blue in nature. This is the importance of Gaudikop's effect. So ultraviolet light penetrates deepest. Got it? So this ultraviolet light penetrates deepest. So red algae are found at the benthic region of the or bottom region of the sea. Now let's discuss about the stored food materials. The best stored food material is called as the Floridian starch. And this Floridian starch is a glycogen-like structure which is branched. And these are stored in the cytoplasm of the cell. Got it? So the food material of red algae is Floridian starch. They are glycogen-like structure, that is animal stored carbohydrates, and they are branched in nature, mostly found in the cytoplasm. In addition to it, it also contains floricides. It also contains fluoridoside. In addition to Floridian starch, it also contains fluoridoside compounds. Now let's discuss about its reproduction. Normally, as usual in algae, we find three basic modes of reproduction: vegetative, asexual, sexual. Vegetative by fragmentation, but asexual is by non-motile spores. That is called as monospore, carpospore, and tetraspore. So the reproduction asexual is by means of spores, but the spores are non-motile. Because we have already discussed, in red algae there is no motile stage in its life cycle. Sexual reproduction is only oogamous type, where the female is called as carpogonium and the males as spermatogenum, they produce spermatogenum. Females are called as carpogonium. And life cycle, in the life cycle in Polysiphonia is the one exception of red algae where we find three phasic life cycles are present: gametophytic phase, caprosporophytic phase, and tetrasporophytic phase. Means if we find a gametophytic stage present and caprosporic phase present and tetrasporic phase present, or sporophytic plant, 2N plant and tetrasporophytic plant. Got it? So these three type of plants, the three types of life cycle is found to be present in red algae. Now let's discuss about the economic importance. So bromine, the chemical bromine is extracted from, that is polysiphon is the best example, or rhodomela. And food, porphyr is accepted as a food. Agar, which we use in certain chemicals, certain experiment, is extracted from Gelidum and Gracilaria. Very important from NEET point of view. So agar is extracted from red algae, Gelidum and Gracilaria. And carrageenan is extracted from Chondrus crispus, is iris moss. And glue is extracted from, that is Gloepeltis. And the parasitic algae is called Harvelia. And the red snow is caused due to, that is called as Hematococcus nivalis. So certain red algae causes red snow. And the red snow is caused by Hematococcus nivalis. And like green algae Cephalareus, your red algae is also parasitic, that is called as Harvelia. So these are the different general character and different description about the red algae. So this is the brief description, and in brief and in detailed description we will be presenting in our long video. Okay, thank you for watching.